Good morning!
Good morning. Good morning,
Yes, good morning
Jam.
to all our listeners. Good morning, Marilyn.
Good
And,
morning. Good morning to
well,
all 111 million people in the Philippines. Good
yes.
morning to
Okay,
our
to all our
friends.
listeners,
Right,
friends,
friends,
enemies, even enemies,
enemies. Yeah, good
haters.
morning. Good morning to our friends from Abu Dhabi, Singapore,
Okay,
Korea, Japan, London,
yes.
Germany, Australia, everybody in the whole
Yes.
wide world. Good
Yes. Okay.
morning.
Good morning.
How's
It's first thing in the morning,
Yeah, it's
isn't it? Yeah.
Tuesday, last
Yes.
day of the month.
Yes, correct. Another day and another fighting chance.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
So we're still in this pandemic. All
How are
right.
you, Jam?
Doing well, but my back is aching right now because of all the work. And how are you, Jenny?
Good morning, Jenny.
Jenny is still yawning right now.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi.
Yes. Hello. Hello.
Good
Good
morning. Good
morning.
Yes,
morning.
it's Tuesday again. Okay. So,
How are you?
Yes, happy
How are you,
Tuesday.
ladies?
how are you,
Jenny.
Jenny?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. I just woke up. Good
Oh.
morning.
That's why this is first thing in the morning. So, it's okay if you just woke
Yes.
up. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what do we have for today, guys?
Today I'm very excited to have our guest.
Oh,
Have us,
Oh,
yes.
we have a guest today.
yeah.
Yes. A mysterious guest. So, nobody knows. You have to pretend that you still don't know this guest, okay?
Okay.
A she, a he, or an it.
Oh,
Okay, so
I think
who
it's
could
it.
it be?
yeah, me too. I
All right,
think
so
it's it.
let me introduce our guest. Okay, our guest
Wait,
has
Jam, I
been,
have a
yeah, sorry.
question.
Oh,
Did you
okay.
get anxious while preparing for this?
Of course. Of course. I got anxious. And right now I'm putting my anxiety to the test.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't prepare for this. I slept well last night.
Good, 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 good,
Okay, I
good.
just wrote my what do you call this? The
Cheat sheet.
questions
Yeah.
a
Mm,
week ago. So I'm
mm.
not really prepared.
Wow, a week
A week
ago.
ago. Wow. No
Prepare this for
preparation
a
needed.
week.
Yeah, I don't want to prepare. I don't want to be stressed
Yeah.
anymore. Okay. Anyway, so our guest is also, or should I say, was I don't know, is or was a former employee of the online teaching company where we all met.
I think it was.
Okay, so our guest was a former employee. All right.
Good
Okay.
preparation, Gem.
I prepared except for
Uh-huh.
grammar. Okay, so
No, 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 no,
sh-
no, no. The history of the background.
yeah,
Background.
he,
Okay.
she, it was a
Yes.
teacher, then a team leader. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
he, it became our team leader and one of the most creative and resourceful people I've met. Okay, this
Mm.
person can turn an empty Pringles container into a work of art. Who
Oh,
is
very
this
teacher.
person? Okay, we're going international today. Wait, let's
Oh,
welcome.
again.
Yeah, okay. She's from the land of Onigiri, Sherilyn Grace Lamprea. Welcome, welcome. Oh, hi.
おはようございます。おはようございます、皆さん。Hello
Yes.
from Japan.
Yes. So she's from Japan. Okay, how are
Yes,
Welcome,
I'm
you?
currently
welcome.
living and working in Japan for almost 3 years now, and I miss you guys.
Wow.
Miss you
Wow,
so
3 years.
much.
That's been
Yes.
Good
3 years.
Yes.
morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. It's been a long time,
It's
right?
been a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't gone back home since you
Yes,
lived in
since the
Japan.
pandemic, we're
Oh
not able
yeah.
to come.
Okay. So how are you,
Doing
Cheryl?
great. Yes.
Okay. Thank you
Well,
very much for saying yes to this first
yes, of
Yes.
Thank
question.
course.
you.
It's
Thank you.
it's always an honor.
Wow. You're so formal.
Yeah.
Don't be too serious, okay? We're
Because it's too early in the morning, guys. Come on.
Oh, okay. So, we are going to. Okay, what else? Wait a minute. Before we proceed to our topic, we can still talk about your, life in Japan. Because
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
yeah, your current job. Tell us about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I've been here for 2 years. For the first 2 years I've been here, I worked in what they call an eikaiwa in
Mhm.
Japan. It's a cram school, as they call it, for English
Mhm.
for 2 years, where I taught um, kids, babies to adults.
Babies.
Babies.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, for like there are
Wow.
days where you work for 8 hours, but still good, still good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And yeah, basically here in Japan, work ethic is really strong.
Mhm.
And if they
Mhm.
say that you have to work for 8 hours, you really have to work, be on your feet
Wow.
the whole time.
Mhm.
And
What
yes,
if,
what
what if,
else?
for example, it's beyond 8 hours already? Are you supposed to
Yes,
finish?
it always
Go
happens.
home? I mean, are you supposed to go home, or are you being asked? Like we're here in the Philippines, right? It's supposed to be 8 hours work, but sometimes you tend to go overtime, but it's without pay.
Mm.
Like for
Well,
example, you
that
extend for
thing,
10 minutes or 15 minutes. How is it
Mm.
like in Japan?
that is not uncommon here in Japan. In fact, it's the lifestyle.
Oh.
It's part of your regular working hours to work
A little
extra
extra.
hours.
Mm.
Yes. And that's in this kind of industry. In other industries, I believe it's worse. I mean,
Mm.
well,
Oh.
I couldn't really say it's really bad, because it's if it's really your lifestyle, then you get used to it and you think
Mm.
it's normal. Yes,
Mhm.
and there are a lot of people here who work until 9 p.m.
Wow.
Start working. Yes, like for the full 12 hours of their days
Mm.
they work.
Mhm.
And the sad thing about that is that they're not even paid, but it's
Oh, the
considered
Oh.
extra
work.
time.
It's
Mm.
considered work ethic.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
yes, that's how they do it here in Japan.
But how is it working with Japanese people?
Well, Japanese people are basically polite people.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yes. Uh,
Your boss is
it,
listening
it,
right now, so go ahead.
Former boss.
What do you talking about?
yes,
Okay.
my former
Hi,
boss.
boss.
Oh, sorry.
I'm really fortunate, I can say,
Uh-huh.
that my former manager,
Mhm.
my immediate superior in the
Mm.
first company I worked with here in Japan. She's been my friend. She's actually my friend. We're
Mm.
very friendly with
Oh.
each other. So
Mm.
I'm really, really glad about that. But I've heard stories about some managers being so rude,
Mhm.
Yeah.
um, discriminating.
Mhm.
Um, yes, and it's not a really good thing, especially if you're a foreigner,
Yeah.
just you're working abroad, and just, you don't know how to speak Japanese,
Mhm.
and you're still learning how to do your job properly, and then your manager comes at you and screams at you, "Why is this
Oh.
student da 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 da?" That's right, quite depressing. I heard
Yeah.
so many horror stories about that, but
Uh-huh.
yes, well, when you work abroad, it's going to come.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
somehow aware that you'll be experiencing those things.
How about
So,
the language? The language. Are there any
well, because I
barriers?
work in the English industry, it's not really a huge challenge. The challenge is when you go outside work, when you
Mm.
try to feed yourself in a restaurant, for example, or when you go to the supermarket and they ask you, "Ready for guru?" La, 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 la. And I just say, say hi. You have to learn basic language, basic
Yes.
Japanese
Mm.
here.
Just,
How to say yes, how to say, but eventually you'll try to learn.
mm.
But the best way to live here and enjoy living here is to, you know, stick for a while, stay, and then be
Mhm.
aware of your surroundings and learn
Mhm.
the language, study at home, have self study. Very, very good.
Yes.
And Japanese people basically appreciate it when you try to speak their language.
Mhm.
Yes. But I'm
Okay.
not saying I'm really good at it. The basic things, just the basic things. I'm not formally studying
Just studying by
Japanese.
yourself. Even here,
Yes,
right?
it's
Even
still
when you were
so
here,
lazy.
you've been
Yeah.
studying.
Oh,
Is that right? You
I
studied?
have to admit, I've been very lazy about learning Japanese.
Okay.
Yes, and there are times that I don't even try anymore. Like
Mm.
when I had for example, when I went to the clinic and to get my first dose
Mhm.
of the vaccine, the
Mhm.
vaccine.
Ah,
Mhm.
Yes,
congratulations. You're
my
vaccinated.
I have to have thank you so much. I have to have my friend with me because he knows how
Okay.
To
to speak
explain.
Japanese.
Huh?
Yes,
Okay.
because I'm just, not because I need him there for support, but I'm just too lazy to understand what he's trying to say. So just have him there, like, oh, what? Because they would never speak to you
Mm.
especially in hospitals here. It's one of the
Mhm.
hardest things. When you get
Mm.
sick, you have to be with someone who knows
How
Japanese.
to speak. Mhm.
Yes, because the doctors and nurses will always speak to you in Japanese. The people in the restaurant will ask you how many people are there in Japanese, and you have to
Mhm.
respond in Japanese to like, oh, this, like that. And then when you go to
Mhm.
the supermarket, when you go to a fast food, everywhere you go, basically they
Mm.
won't.
Japanese.
At least, yes, at least in this city. But I think in Osaka, we went to Osaka, we went there to we went there to ask something from an information desk.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Personal, yes, she knows how to speak Japanese. No, I mean she knows how to speak English. I think in Tokyo as
uh
well,
yeah,
At
because it's
least the
they're
big
more
cities.
where foreigners are more
foreigners. Yeah,
saturated.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Mm. Okay.
I see.
So, are you enjoying your life so far in Japan?
definitely. There are a lot of good places to see here. That's one.
uh, mhm.
Yes, it's easy to find Filipinos here, your own people, right?
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, that's great.
Yes.
There are a lot of
And there are a
Filipinos.
lot of people, and life here is so convenient. The trains are
Mm.
not as crowded, always running. The
Mhm.
buses are always
Mhm.
on time. What else? Food, food is
Okay.
good,
Oh.
but well, with all these things, at the end of the day, you also miss your family.
Yeah.
You,
Yes, that's true.
when you're lonely, especially usually,
Mm.
OFWs here live alone in their apartments. It
Mm.
gets really
Mhm.
lonely, but
Oh.
still blessed. If you look at it in a
Mhm.
different perspective, where you're really
Mhm.
blessed with a job here, or that you're still healthy,
Mhm. That's right.
and you have friends around you, you have people around you.
Mm.
Mhm.
May we request you greeting your students in Nihongo? Just a simple greeting for this morning. How do you start it? How do you start your class?
Well, because I work in an Ikawa with very strict rules about speaking Japanese in the classroom, I don't
Mm.
usually get to do that. We're not
Mm.
really required to, but of
Okay.
course, being able to greet them in Japanese will be, it's always a fun experience for the
Mm.
kids, because with kids, when you start speaking Japanese, they will be like, "Oh, what?" Like
They get excited. Oh, you're speaking
yes, they get so
Japanese.
Yeah.
they speak
Oh,
Japanese, and they ask you if you can you speak Japanese in there, and that's one thing that the company didn't want to happen in the class,
mm.
because it's an English
English.
institution.
Mm.
But in my
Mhm.
current job, if you know how to speak Japanese, it's a plus because you'll be working with Japanese teachers, and most Japanese teachers of English here,
Okay.
they they
It's easy for
sometimes
you.
Yeah.
they
Okay.
sometimes don't speak Japanese. I mean, they sometimes don't speak English at all. So you'll be working with this teacher inside the classroom, as you'll be assisting her in the class. So and you have to talk before you do your class about certain activities you've planned.
Mhm.
So Japanese is the plus, but well, so far I've never met any Japanese teachers of English who doesn't speak any English at all. So
Okay.
it's not
Can
yet a
you
struggle.
can you greet
Not
our
yet
Japanese
struggle.
listeners?
Your
Nihongo.
neighbors, the people at the supermarket,
Yeah. We are here.
Yes,
anywhere in
reading.
Japan.
Yeah, in the mornings it's ohayou gozaimasu.
Oh,
Can
Ohayou
you
hello.
can you
gozaimasu.
introduce yourself? Can you introduce yourself in Japanese?
There. Can you introduce yourself
Yes.
in Japanese?
Introduce yourself. Nihongo.
That's
And
so hard.
Do it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just for
Okay.
fun.
おはようございます。私はチェルです。お元気ですか？
Okay, thank you very much. What is arigato, right? Arigato.
arigatou
はい、
gozaimasu.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
Japanese here in Japan is a little bit. You'd expect more when it comes to the language. I've heard my manager say, I thought it's just arigatou gozaimasu, but it's no, there are different tones like arigatou gozaimasu. and when you
High
greet a
pitch.
teacher, ohayou gozaimasu, and then he would respond, something like that.
Oh,
So
thank
it's
you
really
for that.
they're going to say it the way you
So-
expect them to say it.
Okay. So there's what do you call that? Different weight? No, tone or pitch? Well,
Yes,
it's
different
like
pitch, different tones, different intonations that you
okay.
would never expect. So the
Mhm.
best way to effectively learn how to effectively communicate here in Japan is immersion. Like you get to go out there and talk to
Mm.
people.
Yeah.
So there.
Okay. All
So
right. Wow.
yeah.
Wow. You mentioned a while ago that part of you working there in Japan is that you miss your family.
Yes.
Right.
All the time.
All the time.
Oh.
All the
How-
time, of
How
course.
how do you manage that? How do you communicate with your family?
Well, in this time we're so fortunate to have technology.
Mhm.
We
Okay.
always do video calls.
Mhm.
Well, I do video calls as often as I can. Like if it's possible every day, like twice a day. That's how I miss
Mhm.
them.
Wow. Twice a
You know,
day.
Filipinos, we are so
Mhm.
attached with our families, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And and communication is key with family members.
Uh-huh.
Especially, I have a daughter. I have
Mhm.
to. I
How
have
old is she?
to. She's 10. She's 10.
Wow.
Helen's 10 now,
10?
guys.
Oh.
She's
She's
almost.
10? Oh my gosh.
Yes, she is.
When is she?
She's
when
grown up a
She's
lot.
a young lady.
I still
Yes, and
remember
she's grown
her.
taller, guys.
I still remember her in the
Come
office.
on. She used to be a baby when she goes to the office, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow,
Like-
now she's 10.
Like 2 feet high. Now she's as tall as me.
Oh. And
Yes.
yeah, you must have missed her so much because 3 years,
Yes,
right?
Definitely. Yeah, but I saw her last I got
Okay.
to go home last year for a very sad
Mm.
reason. My grandfather died, but I was able to be with her like 24/7 the times that I was.
So, I mean, you being there and she being here, and she's becoming adolescent now. So how do you
Yeah.
manage taking care of her from a distance?
Yeah, how do you
Uh,
do that?
well, first of all, just like I've said, communication. Communicate as often as you can. Like you stay in the loop
Mhm.
with your kids,
Mhm.
and not only with her, with the people who are around her, because that will
Mhm.
give you an idea, more idea in how she's really doing,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? And yes, because we have, now I hope so, internet connection that's getting more stable,
Mhm.
hopefully in our
Mhm.
country.
Mhm.
Yes, we get to do video calls all the time. Like even if there are times that you don't have nothing to talk about.
Mhm.
I mean, you have nothing to talk about. You sometimes just stay there and ask her, questions, ask her about things. What else? Nowadays you can watch movies together. We read
Oh.
books together. We play
Mhm.
games together online.
Mhm.
So you spend time. I spend time with my kids
Mhm.
um, as often as I can,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and make her somehow feel my presence, even if I'm so far away. So far away. That's
Yes.
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's that's a good thing that we're able to talk a lot,
Mhm.
and at
Mhm.
the same time, it's challenging because physical touch is really really different. Nothing can
Yes.
ever
Yeah, that's
replace
true.
your physical presence.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And what other thing? Uh, well, we talk about challenges. One challenge is that she's a kid. She's 10,
Mhm.
but she's still you know she won't be able to truly understand why I left her
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
something, right? For Japan, for my career, and but yes, so that's one thing that would be a struggle for her. She might be feeling abandoned at this moment, right now,
Yeah.
but just be there. I
That's right.
mean,
Well,
just be there for her.
what was her reaction when you told her that you would go to Japan to work?
Of course, I can't remember, but I remember being so anxious.
Mhm.
What if she
Mm.
says no? But I mean, even if she says no, I mean everything's prepared. I really
Yeah.
You already signed the contract
I
that
signed
time,
the
right?
contract. I already quit my job at Duzon.
Okay,
So,
so you
like,
couldn't take
yes,
no for an answer.
yes. And I don't want to,
Mhm.
what do you call this? Sometimes we've seen social media of kids
Mhm.
Mhm.
cry. She never did that. I'm just
Mm.
so fortunate that she somehow understood why I need to leave. And I'm
Mhm.
so fortunate because I've got my parents with me, so understanding,
Mhm.
so loving. They really love my daughter and
Mhm.
they are
Mhm.
taking care of her. And I really, really trust them for doing a great job with her.
Okay.
And yes, but
Mm.
I think a better question is how did she react when I told her I need to leave? She cried, I remember.
Yes, my father used to be an OFW. I remember he left when I was just 5 years old,
Oh,
Wow.
and he
5.
came home. Maybe I
Mm.
was already 25.
Oh my gosh. So that's
Really?
But
about
yeah, but
Mm.
he would always come home every year.
at least. Okay.
For
Yes,
Christmas.
for not really for Christmas, but
Mm.
yeah, any time of the year he would come home. Yes. So basically, my mother was there physically
Mhm.
to raise me,
Mhm.
but my father was there to raise me financially. You
Mm.
know what I mean?
Okay. Of course, the provider of the family,
Yes,
right?
yes. So I grew up not really, honestly, not really close to my father because, he was not there all the time.
Mm.
But I remember I understood the
Mhm.
situation.
At what
Yes.
age did you start understanding the situation?
Maybe I was already in maybe high school. Yeah.
Mm. But
Yes. Because I
mm,
remember every time my father would go back to that country, I would cry.
Mhm. Mm. Of
I was
course.
so sad.
that was
And then
starting when you were high school or when you were still young?
when I was still young, when I
Okay.
was still young in elementary.
Mhm.
Yes. So yeah, that's why I am still close to my mother, but now well, we are okay because he's already here. He's been here for a long
Mm.
time
You're
since he
together.
retired.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
like what
yeah, sorry.
Sherilyn yeah, what Sherilyn said
Sherilyn,
a
are you
while ago,
still
yes.
there? Cheryl, are you
Yes, I'm
there?
here.
Oh,
It's
okay. Okay.
it's
You
really
can
a
Oh
say
yeah.
challenge.
Yes, you can also ask questions, but
sure.
just the easy ones, okay?
But I do have a question, Jenny. Perhaps you
Oh
can,
yeah.
being a child who has a parent, an OFW parent, is there
Mhm.
any insights that you can tell to our guests, like the feeling of a child that only has one parent or only has a guardian at home?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
I
I
think
definitely wanted to know about that, Jenny. Yes,
Mm.
well,
because
I'm not an expert, but
you were a
It's okay.
child who had an OFW for a parent, so I also want to know
yeah. The thing
how kids
is,
think when their parents are away.
oh yeah. Well, your Helen is actually lucky because she has your parents and many people, right, to raise her. I
Mhm.
remember my mom was the only one to, somehow be with me all the time when my father was not around. And I think what I remember was my father would compensate the lost time with gifts, with
Oh.
material things, probably because
Mm.
he's, how to say, um he wants to what do you call that? I forgot the word. To pay it forward. I don't know, but
To
he would
compensate,
yeah,
yes, you
compensate
mentioned.
the,
Mhm.
yes, the lost time. So he would give me gifts, material things, something like
Mhm.
that. But I remember it was not enough for me because of
Definitely.
course I would want, his presence instead
Mhm.
of those material things. But eventually, like what I said earlier, I eventually understood what was happening, but I was already in high school at that time.
Mhm.
So during my early years, my mom would always tell me what's happening
Mhm.
around. Why is my father not here? Why is she is the only one who's here? Something like that. Yes. So it's really difficult. Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. Yes, I know. I always hear it. It's That's a very common thing. Even up to these days, you could never compensate your absence with a material thing
Material
because
things.
Yes.
nothing
Mhm.
beat
Still
your
different.
presence,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Your
And
connection, your physical connection with the person that you
and the
love.
thing is, of course, before the technology was not that how to say
Exactly.
common. The yes, no video calls, no.
No
Mhm.
video calls, right?
I think
So
it's
Okay.
I
video,
remember
tape recorder. Right, you
Oh
tape
send
yeah,
tape
recorders.
before.
Yes,
paper.
letters,
I
very
Yeah,
expensive phone
letters. Yes,
calls,
the
right?
mhm.
snail mails. Only letters was the only
Mhm.
communication I got from my father. No video calls or something like that. The only I think video calling started only when I was in college.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
But
you're quite young when I was. Okay, let's not talk about
But the
the times when we
video,
were
the
in
video
college.
is like, the video and the movies.
Skype. No, what was movies?
Skype. You did Skype.
Skype. That was Skype
Oh, Skype.
in
In college.
college. Yeah,
Um,
that was in college, right?
I
You
don't
don't
know.
remember anymore. That was in okay.
Started working and
You were
then
in college in okay. What year? 1970s, right? It was in the 1970s.
1961,
Okay, so that was
early 2000.
okay. Well, Cheryl here is lucky that at least there's
Yeah.
this communication or
Like every
technology,
day you communicate to your
better
daughter. That's very,
technology.
yeah.
It
Yes,
is.
that's the thing. But I have a question though. Communication back then was really difficult between parents and between the OFW parent and their kid
Mm-hmm.
because well, it's expensive and it's not that accessible and
Mm-hmm.
it's really tough. So
Mm-hmm.
communication is really uh almost non-existent for some, unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
right? But come on, it happens. But nowadays communication is better and more accessible, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And literally just at the palm of your hand. I mean, not literally, but it's handheld. So how do you think this thing change? Um, I mean, what effect does it give to the kids? Does this thing make things better for the kids? Do they feel less abandoned
may I
Mm-hmm.
because
answer?
you get to talk to them? What do you think? This is a question for Jenny or from anyone, from
Wow,
Marilyn or Jam. Anyone
first
can
time for
answer.
us to be asked by our guest. Thank you for that
Yeah.
question.
Thank
Yeah. We
you. Yes.
appreciate that.
I
May
just
I
wonder, does it make
yeah,
any difference?
may
I
Does
I
it make
guess,
any
share?
yeah,
difference?
totally. Especially if you do that every day, that
Mm-hmm.
will
Yeah.
really make a difference. Yes, because it's as if, that's what technology does. It's as
Mhm.
if you're not in another country.
Mm.
You feel like
You know what
you're
I mean?
yeah
Because she
together.
sees you, I mean, almost every day.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, it does make a huge
A huge
difference,
difference.
I think. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Jamila, being you.
I
Yeah.
agree. Well, my
Mhm.
mom. Okay, if you Jenny, your mom worked. Oh, sorry, your dad worked there
Mm,
for about 25 years. Is that right? 20
like
years or
15, I think.
so.
15.
But he often came home like every
Yes,
year.
every year.
My mom's a single parent and she
Mm-hmm.
raised us by herself, like how many? Seven children. Okay, all of us. So
Wow.
she had to go to the US to work. Okay, as a teacher, then she became a nanny, a tutor. She took
Mhm.
different jobs. For 20 years, we didn't see her. She didn't
For
um
20
yeah,
years.
come back. But there was a constant communication. She would always call us like once a month because the phone bills. Okay, once a month,
Yeah.
but she
Mm-hmm.
never miss sending us cards. Okay, I would always treasure the greeting cards every birthday, Christmas. So she would often send us those things, and of course those gifts. Okay, but it's still we still felt like we still needed her, but we understood because she really can't be with us because if
Yeah.
she would come home, who would feed us? Okay,
Yes, yes.
we grew up in our relatives with our relatives. We moved from one relatives to the other relatives, so we were just we were like what do you call that? We
A
were
nomad.
nomads. Yes, no, as a, for years. So we moved from one household to another. So that's how we grew up. But our mother, okay, had always been there. Always calling us and check on
Mm-hmm.
us. Yeah, that's what I remember. And what is that music? I
And
didn't ask
what
for that.
effect did that give you,
What
Jamila?
effect? Now I have anxiety and
Really?
I have become crazy. Just a little crazy.
Oh my gosh, I have to rethink about staying here for a longer time.
Sorry.
Imagine
Maybe.
having Jamila for a kid
Oh
because
my
you were
god.
in the OFW for 20 years.
It's the biggest mistake you've ever done in your life. Okay.
No.
So I think what it did to me, okay, because my situation is different. We moved from one household to another. My grandmother on wait, my grandmother's cousin had to take care of us, and then we moved to our one of our aunts, and then to another aunt. But yeah, we
Mm.
were my sister and I were always together. But my other siblings, they had to uh, be raised by other relatives. Okay, but yeah, there was a time we got together finally, and mom came home 20
Oh.
years later. Unfortunately, she already was sick that time, but we are able to take care of her. Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm not
What about, I
crying.
have a
So
question for Sherilyn. Are you
Well, good.
Uh-huh.
planning to stay, there for a long time, or to work abroad for a long time, or do you plan to come back and just be with your daughter and just work here?
Well, at this moment, I'm thinking of going home.
mm,
Just finishing this contract.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, also thinking about staying here because, it's not impossible to bring her here in Japan.
mm,
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
most especially if you see how good their education system is. And yeah, the younger she is, the better that she'd be able to learn the language, so she won't
mm,
have a hard time. Hopefully, if I get to bring her here, but still praying for it.
mm,
Mm.
Yes, but staying here is the most practical decision for many.
mm,
Yeah.
But yes, being away with your family is it's really tough.
mm,
And yeah, yes, I'm still planning to stay here though. But
mm.
still, if I'm not going to be with my daughter for a very long time, I think I won't really allow that to happen.
Yes. Don't allow that if you don't want to have a child like me, okay? So you gotta come home.
It's either I come home or I bring her here. That's what I'm
Yeah.
planning. When the pandemic's over, when everything's under control, then I think
Mm,
things can get easier. It costs some money, yeah, but
Yeah.
here in Japan, they have better, support
mhm,
for single parents like me. So
mm,
it would be a great challenge financially and with
Yeah.
the efforts I have to make it happen. But no, help always comes along.
yeah.
Mm.
So keeping a positive perspective on that.
Okay, let's just hope that okay, one day you'd be together again. Whether it's in the
Yes,
Philippines, in
or
Japan,
in
or
Japan, yeah,
yeah,
right.
or
Or in
That's
other
any
that's the
countries.
anywhere.
goal. I mean,
Mhm.
we cannot replace that with anything else in the world. Being with
Yes.
your
Yeah.
children, right?
Especially
Mhm.
if they're still young.
That's right.
Exactly. I know.
We
Mhm.
do have some questions online.
Mhm.
Would you like
From
to
our listeners.
from our listeners? By the way, when we started, we got like 4,000 listeners, but now we have 11,320.
Wow!
Oh wow,
Because
Oh,
of Cheryl from
Yay.
yeah.
Thank you. And thank you
thank
guys.
you, thank you, thank you
Thank you
to
for
our
thank you
participating.
so
listeners.
much. It's so nice to be here.
Thank you. Our question is, this is from Antoine from France.
Antoine.
Antoine.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, Antoine.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci. So,
Merci.
Cheryl, Are you single and ready to meet me?
Wow, you've got a proposal. Is it a proposal? From
No, it's just
friends.
a question.
Are you single
Hi,
and
I
ready?
see it as a
everyone.
proposal. It is a proposal, I think. Okay.
Yes, I'm so single.
And ready?
And
Ready
ready to
to?
mingle.
And ready to mingle.
Oh,
I
yes.
mean,
Okay,
Have
still
you
about.
seen? I have a question. Have you seen any potential Japanese
um,
It could be Japanese or any
or yeah, as any
uh,
other
any
nationality?
nationality.
well, potential, yes,
Oh, a lot.
but
Mm-hmm.
from what I know, in Japan, it's the girl who confesses it, and it's not a thing for us Filipinos, right? Like
Wow.
if they are really if they're into you, they make it happen. That's
Mm,
what I learned
okay.
from a movie recently that I watched. But yeah, recently, what do you call this? I tried going out on dates,
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I don't know.
They're just potentials. Okay.
It's just
Yeah, yeah.
potential, but potential's not gonna. It's not gonna happen
Mhm.
if there's not
Why
enough
not?
effort. I guess.
Ah, yes, because
Yeah.
yeah, most Japanese
Right.
men are
I'm,
passive. Passive.
Maybe
yes.
maybe they're
Right.
just busy. They're just busy
They're always
working.
busy.
I'm sorry,
You won't,
Japanese
you
men.
won't be surprised that in one whole apartment, 60% of the people living there are alone.
Mm.
Yes, and
Oh.
then and well, like why is Japan's population going down? Yes, that's the answer, I guess. No, no, just
Also, they
People just
have
want to
to
live
just
alone.
be
joking.
active in dating
Mhm.
and confessing their love. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
problem.
people. Yes, no, I'm just joking. It's not true. I have no basis on that statement.
Maybe you have to go to Tokyo or Osaka. Maybe people there are more active.
Where is the best place?
You don't
Sapporo.
know. If you want to date
Hokkaido.
someone, it's easy. I mean, go on a dating app. It
Ah.
really works.
Mm,
But if you've got standards,
mhm,
that
Mhm.
makes it more difficult because you've got filters.
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, that's true.
That's still
Yes,
important. You can't just
exactly.
go
I
with
don't know.
anyone. Okay. But one of the criteria you have to add this.
Sorry,
One of the
anyone.
criteria that you should have is okay, that person is vaccinated, right?
Exactly.
Are they
Yes,
all vaccinated in
exactly.
there? You have to be.
It
Are they
has
all?
to be.
Are the
It has to
Japanese?
be.
Yes, most of them are they vaccinated? Are they?
Well, the
Yeah.
rollout of vaccines here, it's a bit
How
slow.
is?
I believe there are still a lot of people who are not vaccinated.
Mm,
But yes, but there are a lot already. But
mm,
getting vaccines here is easier because you go to a clinic and set up a schedule for that, and then they give it
mm,
to you.
mm.
Is that?
Okay. Yeah. So
Mhm.
the more vaccinated people there are, the more potentials you'll have, right, Cheryl? Okay. All right.
When it comes to potentials, there are many. But the question is, am I potential to them? That's a very
Okay, good question.
that's a very right. That's something that you
Yeah.
really have to consider about.
We still have a lot of questions online on our FB Messenger, but we don't have enough time. We only have 6 minutes left.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sorry, but
Six
we will
minutes.
try. Yeah, we'll try to answer all those questions personally. Jam will be very much free.
I will be answering your questions.
Yeah, thank you so much once
Sir.
again to the 25,890 viewers and listeners right now.
Thank
It's
you.
increasing.
They keep on growing. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you to all our
Thank
listeners
you. And
across
thank you to
the
our
globe.
guest.
Yes.
You're
course.
welcome. It's an honor to be here, as I've said.
Thank
It
you.
was
Thank
a
you.
very,
It's a great
very
honor to be in the presence of really, really amazing people.
Oh,
There's
thank
like
you.
oh.
Oh, by
Thank
the way,
you.
we're
hundreds of
very
thousands of
much.
subscribers and listeners all over the world.
Yay. Thank you.
Okay,
And
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
once again, we would
Yes.
like to thank
Oh.
our sponsors.
Mm-hmm. Jam, who are our sponsors?
Our sponsors, okay, because I've been using this liniment for my backache. Thank you, Moringa. Thank you,
Oh, we are the
Moringa.
same. Yeah, Moringa, thank you. You
Okay,
know, this has
I'm
also
able
been my
to.
holy grail. Yes.
Oh, you too. Okay, so we're
Yes.
able
Thank you,
to,
Moringa.
Thank
yes,
you. Thank you,
continue
Economy.
walk, waking up and talking because of Moringa. Okay.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you
Wow.
Thank
for
you.
making our lives comfortable
And to, of course, my
during.
monitor. Sorry.
Mhm.
Sorry, Jenny.
It's
You
okay.
were
It's okay. Go
saying
ahead.
something.
Go, 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 go.
Okay. And to my Samsung monitor for
Mhm.
making
Oh,
this
Samsung.
podcast slash radio
Yes, yes.
show a possibility.
Yes, of
Oh,
course you have to
Thank you.
thank Duzon because Duzon.
Duzan. Oh,
Duzan,
yes,
thank you.
Duzan. Thank you
Thank
for
you. Thank you for
Thank you,
supporting
recommending
me.
us.
Duzon.
nice.
We
Okay.
all came from Duzon, so
Yes,
thank
we
you.
all mad at Duzan.
All
All right.
HR, IT.
Hello, HR and IT and the
Yes.
CM
Hello,
and
TM.
hello. I miss
Mhm.
Jizon.
2A,
me
2A.
too. And all the personnel. Kuya Kaloy.
Ate
Enjoy.
Joy.
Ate Joy.
Happy
Yes.
Yes.
Joy.
Who else?
Yeah.
Who else? Jam.
Who else? I have forgotten because I've been doing work, work from home. I've been working from home for almost 2 years, so I don't remember most of them. No, just kidding. Okay,
And Jenny, would you like
and
to
all
thank
of
the
them.
next one?
Oh yeah, I would like to thank Logitech, ever reliable headset,
Mhm.
and
That's nice.
Susana's Empanada.
Oh, yes.
For keeping you alive.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah. Keeping us alive
I
this
am very
morning.
close
Thank you.
to yeah.
Thank you,
Ordering.
Susana Special Empanada, for the empanada.
Yes.
And for all those who haven't tried it, please go ahead and visit our FB page and IG page as well.
Yes,
Mm.
thank you. Thank you to our sponsors. And if you'd like to sponsor us, please send us an email at ftitmorning@gmail.com. And
Yeah.
don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts on FB, First Thing in the Morning, on Instagram, First Thing in the Morning PH, and on our YouTube channel, First Thing in the Morning Podcast.
Wow, so great, Jenny.
Thank
You're
you.
doing
with
really
her
well.
eyes closed.
Thank you so much.
She has
Okay.
memorized that.
All right. Okay, so just give me a cue if it's time for me to say goodbye.
Cue.
Okay.
We will not
Cue.
give you a cue.
All right, so guys, this is First Thing in the Morning. We'll see each other
Yes.
again. No, this is every Tuesday and Thursday. All right,
Thank
so
you once
7 in the morning.
again.
Yeah, this is
Sharon,
Jam.
thank you so much.
You're
Thank you. Thank
welcome.
you to our guests. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you guys
Thank you
for
very
You're
listening.
much.
welcome.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Keep
So-
listening, everybody, and share our podcast. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you to those who sent us
Please
their
do.
questions. Thank you. Thanks to our friends from Abu Dhabi, Singapore, Korea, Japan,
France,
London,
All the
Australia.
continents in the world. Yeah. Okay. So first thing in the morning, see you again. This is Jam.
Jenny.
And Mars.
Thank you. See you.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.
See you next
Bye.
time. Bye.
See you next time.
See you, Nara.